Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today I'm going to talk you through all the books that I received in the month of December. Now this is a combination of books that I bought myself, either because they were on sale in the many December and Christmas sales, or that were very kindly given to me by friends and family as Christmas presents. So I'm going to start with the books that I bought myself. First were three books that were on sale for such a steal, and I've been wanting to read them for so long, or they sounded so up my alley, that I could not resist. And the first book is The Fair Fight by Anna Freeman. You may have seen this in my January TBR video. That is how excited I am to read it. And it is about female fighters in the 18th century. And you need to tell me no more than that. It has support from Sarah Waters, whose novels I also love, and I found out Anna Freeman was or possibly still is a lecturer at Bath Spa University, which is not where I studied, but I did visit once or twice while I was studying elsewhere in Bath, so that just makes this extra special. The next book that I picked up for myself is Burning Bright by Tracy Chevalier, which I am intrigued by a lot of Tracy Chevalier's work, but it never quite turns out to be my favorite like I think it's going to be. However, I am very intrigued by this book as it is all about the poet William Blake, as told through the family who lives next door and their interactions with him. It sounds really wonderful, and I cannot wait to lend it to my friend Jonathan afterwards, who is a massive William Blake fan and will probably get even more out of it than I will. I also picked up The Confessions of Franny Langton, which I've been hearing so much about this past year, and it sounds truly wonderful. It is about a young maid who is on trial for killing her mistress, and they may have been having a love affair as well. And it just sounds really wonderful, and I cannot wait to read it. It's Victorian based, I believe. It doesn't say, but I believe it's Victorian based. The last book that I bought myself was not on sale, but I had to pick it up. And it is this picture book, B is Two Bubbles by Jonathan Hope, and illustrated by Ricardo Guasco. And I actually know Jonathan Hope. He was the director of Advanced Studies in England, which is the program where I studied abroad in Bath. And he has written this wonderful picture book, which is a follow-up to his other poetry book, A is for Donkeys. Both of these play with the English language. This one focuses more on wordplay, and this one focuses more on letter shapes. And they're both really wonderful with really beautiful illustrations, like this one of the weir and in Bath, and it goes through the entire alphabet that same way, with wonderful poetry and wordplay and illustrations, and it's just wonderful. I ordered a copy for myself and a copy for some small children in my life. And Jonathan also very kindly sent me these two postcards of illustrations from A is for Donkeys, one of which he wrote me a lovely little note on, which is just so wonderful of him. So I will definitely be saving these, and these also make my initials, which was extra thoughtful of him. So thank you so much, Jonathan. I can't wait to share this with small people in my life. Next we come to books that I received as Christmas presents, and the first couple are from my parents, who are just wonderful to me. And the first is a set of 3 P.G. Wodehouse books that I do not own in these wonderful editions. I love this style, but they only published certain novels of his in this style, not even the whole Jeeves series, which I'm very disappointed by. I hope they fix that in the future. But the first is The Code of the Woosters, which you may have seen me read in my August wrap-up, and I really enjoyed it, so now I have my own copy. And I also have Carry On Jeeves and Thank You Jeeves. And I just love these illustrations so much. I have Stiff Upper Lip Jeeves in this same edition as well. All of P.G. Woodhouse's Jeeves books are about the young Bertie Wooster, who is constantly getting himself into trouble in the 1920s as a gentleman of fortune, and his much more intelligent and clever butler Jeeves is always having to get him out of it. They are sweet and cozy and funny and quirky, and very much looking forward to reading these this year. They also bought me this book, Jane Austen Embroidery, which comes highly recommended from one of my fellow Jasna officers, who is a historical seamstress herself, so I really trust her recommendation. And this is a book full of embroidery projects that are either inspired by Austen's novels or are projects that she might have done herself. They would have been authentic to the period, but they have also been adapted for modern crafters. So for example, you could make yourself this lovely beaded pencil case, or embroider a floral napkin set, or a quilted mobile phone pouch. All sorts of lovely project ideas in here. And they also have some lovely articles scattered throughout as well. So I cannot wait to read through this, and it will be a lovely addition, especially as I started a new embroidery project. I will insert a photo of it here because it is downstairs and I don't feel like taking it apart to show you all. But they also very kindly bought me this cross-stitch project that depicts scenes and characters from all of Austen's novels. And I'm really enjoying working on it. I have the 3 central figures done so far. So we have Emma Woodhouse in pink dancing with Mr. Knightley. I have Captain Wentworth holding up Louisa Musgraves in green right next to them. And up above I have started Lydia Bennet also in pink. So I have quite a ways to go, but I'm really enjoying it. So much so that I also ordered myself the Shakespeare version. And I don't know where I am going to hang either of these once I finish them, but I am really excited to work on them. They also have a Bronte Sisters version and a Dickens version in this same style, if you are also interested. I will try to link all of those down below. Next, from the wonderful Marissa at Blatantly Bookish, who is just so kind and generous and a fabulous reading buddy, we decided to do a book exchange earlier in the year, so she sent me The Buccaneers by Edith Wharton, which I'm very excited to read as I haven't read any Edith Wharton to date, but she seems like she would be my style of American author, given all of the other books that I love. So I thought this might be a good place to start. Let me know down below if you have any other Wharton recommendations. She also very kindly sent me this fun edition of Pride and Prejudice, which is the Diglot Learn Spanish with Pride and Prejudice. This is a language learning technique that I hadn't heard of before, and it's really interesting. I'd love to look into it. And the idea is that if this is already one of your favorite books, you are therefore familiar with the characters and the plot, so you don't need to spend a lot of energy figuring that out. So therefore, they can take a couple of words in each chapter, translate them into Spanish, and then keep using those words throughout the rest of the novel and keep adding new words into your vocabulary with each subsequent chapter, so that by the end of the book, a great chunk of the book is in Spanish and you are able to understand it. Which I can see how that would work scientifically, so I am intrigued to learn more about this technique as a Spanish teacher myself, and also have a fun, wonderful edition of Pride and Prejudice. So thank you so much, Marissa. And next, from my wonderful coworker Heidi, a book of antiquarian stickers, which are mostly Victorian and Edwardian by the looks of things, which are just beautiful. Well, that's a sticker page. There we are. So this is a variety of Victorian dressed birds. And there are lovely floral combinations as well as just lovely floral pages. So this would be wonderful to use for scrapbooks and flat lays and all sorts of wonderful things. So thank you so much, Heidi. Lastly, a few other items which aren't strictly bookish, but they're book related or opera related, and I know a few of you love opera as much as I do, so I thought I would share these with you as well. The first is a score of Die Entführung aus dem Serail. I apologize for my German pronunciation, which translates to The Abduction from the Seraglio, or the Harem, by Mozart, which has become one of my favorite operas. Thank you to my friend Lauren for introducing it to me this year. So now I have the entire score to read through while I listen along. What did I open up to? Osmin and Blonde's first duet, after Durch Zärtlichkeit. I really apologize for my German. And to go along with it, I also got the DVD of my favorite production of Die Entführung from Glyndebourne a few years ago, which is just beautiful. The way they capture Moorish architecture, especially based on southern Spain, where I lived for a while, is just beautiful. And all of the singers do a wonderful job singing and acting. So it is very difficult music. And it can also be a problematic production. And yes, there will be a beginner's guide to this opera at some point in the future where I can tell you more about that. In addition, my parents also bought me 2 CDs by Joyce DiDonato. The first is Songplay, where I believe she contrasts operatic repertoire with more jazz and Broadway type repertoire. And the second is Diva Divo, where because she is a mezzo-soprano, her repertoire includes roles that are for female characters as well as male characters. So she plays off one song, one aria, from one gendered character against the other. So you will go from Cherubin to Susanna, to Sesto, to Vitellia, to Cherubino, to Rosina, so on and so forth, switching genders all the way through. This is the one I'm most excited about, as it has the most of my favorite arias. And lastly, another bookish item is the board game Polite Society, which is Jane Austen based. I have no idea how to play it because I haven't attempted it yet, but I cannot wait until it is safe enough for from Austenian friends to join me and we figure out how to play it together. But it looks as though you are given a character card with a values assigned to you for various traits that you have, and you then need to navigate Regency life with those assets and trying to gain more money for yourself, marry well, etc. It looks like a lot of fun, so as I said, I can't wait until I can get together with other friends who also love Jane Austen to play it through. So there you have it. There is my book and opera haul. Let me know down below if you received any lovely gifts this month or if you bought yourself any lovely treats. And until next time, be safe, be well, and happy reading. Bye everyone.